Welcome to Nugget 316 with Steve and Dana Groman. We are working through some critical Bible verses that empower us. And that is where we're going to start off today with some powerful, empowering verses.
All right, well, let's get into it. Can you read Luke 10:19 for us?
Certainly. Luke 10:19, Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. And I see you have you power underlined.
Actually, it's an interesting and very important point. Isaiah prophesied that there'll be somebody coming in the future sometime that is going to have power to cast out demons, spirits, and heal the bodies, take care of the bodies. And then Jesus shows up 750 years or so later, and he has that authority. Now, he is God, but he's got all that power with him. He calls his guys together. He gives them power. Repeatedly, he says, I give unto you power. Just like this, I give unto you power. Now, notice he didn't say, I give you the authority to ask me to do something. He says, I'm giving this power to you. So this is really critical. And it's not that we can, or they, or we'll get to it here in a second, but it's we should get boastful or prideful or arrogant or anything like that, because it's God that does the work. But he gives the people, he's giving them the power to do these things.
And that leads us into our next verse for today, and that's Ephesians 3:20. Now unto him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think. Have I made a mistake here?
I don't know. Most people stop there. I don't think that's really the whole verse. Check it out. Read it.
Ephesians 3:20 should be proclaimed like this. Now unto him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think. Here's the key part, right?
Right.
According to the power that worketh in us. And that goes back to Luke 10:19, where he says, I have given you power.
Luke 10:19, he's talking to his disciples, and he calls them together, and he says, I'm giving you this power. Then later, when Jesus is going to be leaving for good on this earth, he calls his guys together, and he says, go into all the world. And he says the same thing. Give this out. Freely you've received, freely give. Now, in the New Testament, it's according to the power that worketh in us. If we leave that part of the verse out, what does that do to the rest of the verse? Is according means to the degree of, to the degree that, according to the power that worketh in us. God will do anything according to how much you're doing about it.
We will get into the transfer of this power from Jesus to his disciples and then on to everyone in the next nugget. But we wanted to just point out that Jesus has passed on the power that he has to us as his people.
To them that believe.
To them that believe, yes. This verse, Ephesians 3:20, I know this is one of them that you speak of quite often because many times the verse is not completed. And we want to make sure that people realize that it's according to the power that worketh in us. And we can't just
can't just bypass that.
Right, because that's why sometimes we don't see things done is because we're throwing it into God's court and he's passed it back into our court.
That's right.
And we didn't accept that ball or we missed it. Something isn't going to happen if we're not doing what the scriptures say that we should do.
Correct. And I would try to encourage everybody as best as you can. If and when you quote this verse or hear this verse, let your antenna go up and finish the verse out. We're not just spectators in this thing called Christianity. We are active participants. And this is a good example.
Well, people will say we're the only Jesus that people will see. We're his hands and his feet. And this verse exemplifies that.
It basically says that. But the problem is what you're talking about there, it's almost become like cliche-ish.
Yeah, like you say oftentimes, this isn't a coffee cup saying or a quilt or something you hang on your front door. You can hang it on your front door, but just take it seriously.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you.